Hello everyone, welcome back to the third part of how to improve your middle game. In this video, we are going to discuss the third question and going to find out how can we improve our middle game. Again, we are going to discuss 5 critical diagrams that can help you to improve your middle game. And after watching this video, your knowledge and perspective about looking at a chessboard is going to be completely changed. This is the third part out of 7. So I don't want to waste any further time, so let's quickly jump into the video. So we have the first diagram on the board. We are playing with the white pieces. I want all of you guys to pause the video and try to think, how can you really continue this position? Okay, so I think you might have had a good deep thought and you must have came with the move. Like, what's the plan basically? The plan is to push the pawn to b4 followed by b5. What is the idea? Like, if you think of this position, let's try to discuss what are the weaknesses of black. Black is not having any kind of weaknesses. Talking about white, you can say that c5 is a pawn is a bit weak, but I won't say it is weak because it is pretty much protected by the queen and the rook. Coming to the third question, which is which side we should play on, like the queen side, the king side, or in the center. In the center, there are no pawns. In the king side, we are having 3 pawns against 4 pawns, so it's not a good idea to play on the king side. But now talking about the queen side, we are having 3 pawns against black 2 pawns. So it's a good idea to play on the queen side. So what should be the idea? The idea should be to play on the queen side by pushing the pawn to b4, b5. Like, why we can't play the move b4 directly because knight will simply capture the pawn. So how can we do so? We can play the move a3. The idea is to play the move b4. If you guys found out the move queen c3, idea is to play the move b4, queen b2, the idea is to play b4, or even rook b1, idea is to play b4. All moves are extremely fine. The most important thing is find out that you must play the move b4 in the future. So yeah, a full point if you found the idea of this b4. Like black plays a5, we can play rook b1, and now black can't really stop this idea. And now b5 is coming up, the bishop is extremely strong, and you can already sense how white is already having a good position. This is because white played the side in which white is having the majority pawns. That is the idea of playing on the side which you are strong. So this was the first diagram, so now let's move on to the second diagram. So coming on to the second diagram we have on the board, we are playing with the white pieces, and I again want all of you guys to pause the video and try to think for a second, a few minutes, and try to find the idea of white. Okay, so yeah, how should we continue the position? So talking about the position, white is having 2 pawns on the queen side against 1 pawn. So it looks like maybe we should play on the queen side. But no guys, it's a bad idea to play on the queen side. The reason is because we are having 2 strong bishops on c3 and c2 eyeing on the king side. And we are having also the queen and the knight playing on the king side. So it's a good idea to play on the king side because of these 2 lethal critical bishops. So a good move would be to play the move h4. If you found this move, I'm simply impressed. h4 is very good move. You want to play the move h5, trying to open up the light position. If you try to play on the queen side, like a3, b4, it's not a good idea because black's already having this open semi-open b5, and like it's not a good idea. The position is not demanding to play on the queen side. Rather, both the bishops are looking on the king side, so it's a good idea to play on the king side. So yeah, h4, and for example, black plays the move f6, trying to stop this bishop. h5, knight goes back, rook d1, and now, for example, if black tries to play on the queen side, because we are already playing on the king side, and black wants to remove one of the pawns and trying to create a weak pawn. So it's already a blunder because after queen d3, we are hitting the bishop as well as we have threatening queen into h7 because of this very nice idea of h4, h5. So this is how you should play. You must have the knowledge about which side you must play on. You must never play on the wrong side of the board because it can backfire. So this was the second diagram. So now let's move on to the third diagram. So coming on to the third diagram, we are again playing with the white pieces, and you can try to pause the video and try to think which side we must play on. Okay, so let's talk about the weaknesses of black. Black is not having a particular weakness. Talking about our weaknesses, again, we are not having any particular weakness. The c2 pawn can be weak, but we can simply push the pawn. So it's not a big weakness. So how should we continue the pawn? Which side we are strong? So talking about on the king side, let's try to discuss on the king side. Black is having 4 pawns. Let's try to think black is having 3 pawns. Against we are having 2 pawns. So it's not a good idea to play on the king side. Let's talk about the queen side. Black is having 2 pawns, whereas we are having 2 pawns. But it doesn't look to play on the queen side. But now let's talk about the center. In the center, we are having already 2 pawns against black 1 pawn. So maybe an idea to play on the center is a good idea. So if you found the move c4, you can pack on your back because it's a very good move. c4, the idea is very critical. The knight is considered a very nice blockader. So we want to play the move c5. And after b6, black trying to stop it, b4. And now black can't really stop it. Rook c8, c5, takes. The knight goes back, and you can already sense how having strong side in the center helps you to increase your chances of winning. You can see how black is already very passive and white is already having a very good position. Though black is having this pass pawn, but it is useless until the end. So it's already completely winning for white. So this was the third diagram. So now let's move on to the fourth diagram. Okay, so we have the fourth diagram on our board. We are playing with the black pieces. It's your move. So how are you going to continue this position? Okay, so if you found this move, bravo, knight to h7. It is a very interesting move. Let's try to understand the logic of this particular move. First of all, is there any weaknesses of our opponent? No such weakness. The d4 pawn can be considered as one, but it can't really be captured. So yeah. Is there any weaknesses for us? Not particular. Again, the d5 pawn can be weak, but it can't really be captured. So it's not such a big weakness. Now, which side are we strong on? So let's start with the queen side. White is having 3 pawns. Against we are having 2 pawns. It's not a good idea. But we are having 2 pawns in the center against 1. And 3 versus 3. So as we can say that we are having already a center majority, it's better to play on the king side. But how can we do so? Knight h7. What's the idea? The idea is we want to play the move f5, f4, playing on the center. If we try to play the move knight g4, white can already strike in the center via f3, and we are not having this comfortable f5 move. Knight h5 is already pieced up. So that is the only thing we must play the move knight h7. And now if white tries to play on the side which white is stronger, we are extremely fast. Like f5, f4, knight goes back, knight g5, f3 is coming up, the queen is joining in, the game is actually over for white, black is already winning. So this is how you must play. You must identify on which side you are strong on, in the king side, in the center, or on the queen side. Depending upon the situation, you must play the position. So this was the fourth diagram. So now let's move on to the final diagram of the day. Okay, so we have the final diagram of the day. The fifth diagram, we are playing with the black pieces. And now again, I want all of you guys to pause the video and try to think, how should black continue the position? Okay, so if you guys found out the move, let's try to find out the idea first. What is the weakness of our opponent? Definitely b4 pawn is a weakness. b3 pawn, I don't think so. But yeah, b4 pawn is definitely a weakness. What is our weakness? Our weakness is the b5 pawn, but it can't really be captured. So yeah, but it's a long-term weakness. So which side are we strong on? Are we on the queen side? I don't think so, because white is having 3 pawns. Like 2 pawns. But we are having only a single pawn. So playing on the queen side, it's a bad idea. What about the king side? We are having 3 pawns against 3 pawns. Now what about the center? We are having 2 pawns against white's 0 pawn. So it's already a good idea to play on the center. But how can you do so? If you try to play the move e5, it's not a good idea. White would be happy to take the pawn, and now you're only having an isolated weak pawn, which can be a problem for black. So what should you do? You must play the move f6. If you found this move, bravo. f6. What is the idea? Now we want to play the move e5. And if white plays in the move like knight f3, e5, pawn takes, and now you can already sense how this position is much better for black. Rook comes, and now how should you play? You can already play the move d4. Limiting the black bishop, you want to jump your knight to d5 maybe, followed by e6, or maybe queen d5, trying to push this center pawn. So this is already a good position for black because black played what the position was demanding. The position was demanding to play on center. So yeah, that's exactly what black did. And now black is getting the reward by having a winning position or a better position. So yeah, this was the final diagram. And yeah, we have successfully answered the third question, which side we must play on. So yeah, if this video was essential in order to help you increase your knowledge, and now I'm pretty sure that your method of seeing a board and evaluating a position might have completely get changed. So yeah, I'm going to come up with the fourth part, with the fourth question coming up. So if you like this video, then make sure to like the video, share this video with everyone, and make sure to subscribe to our channel if you are new to our channel. I'm going to come up with these interesting videos like this. So till then, stay tuned and keep watching Oneshot Chess.